Hello everybody, Mr. Brewer with Fish, Bucks, and Bullets back with another video to show you a hunting rifle that I've acquired in 2022. This one is in a caliber that's not common at all. In fact, you may have never heard of it. It is a 338 caliber rifle based off of the 308 cartridge called the 338 Federal, and I've nicknamed it the 338 Federale. As you could probably guess, because it's not a very common caliber, my selection of a hunting rifle was very limited in choices, but I found a Savage long-range hunter in 338 Federal. And this is the rifle. It's got the AccuFit stock, which has modular cheek pieces and spacers to get the right length of pull and cheek rise, as well as a rail that goes inside the stock to make it more rigid. It also has the Accu trigger, and I've mounted a Leupold 4-12x40 VX Freedom with a 30mm tube, and I've ordered the custom dial for the 338 Federal, and I'll talk about the ammo that I'm shooting here in a moment. The action on this rifle is fairly slick. Actually, it's the best, most smooth action that I have ever cycled in a Savage rifle, so that's good because they're not known to be super smooth like a Tikka or Model 70 Winchester or something like that. But this is a fairly smooth action, so that gives you a little bit of an idea. Very nice. And this rifle has a 26-inch barrel, so I'll be getting all kinds of good velocity out of that 338 Federal cartridge. A lot of the rifles that are chambered in this cartridge are on the shorter side as far as barrel length goes, but this one, being a long-range hunter, does come with a 26-inch barrel, which I believe includes this adjustable brake. Trying to focus on that real quick here. Not gonna focus very well on that. There we go. So this brake is adjustable because you can just simply turn it on or turn it off with an easy twist, and it locks in place real nice. It is also removable, but I did take it out to the range and shot it with the brake on and with the brake off, and it did make a difference. It reduced recoil and muzzle jump. I mostly noticed the muzzle jump on it being decreased, and so it just pushed me straight back with the brake open. But even with the brake closed, the rifle shot really well. I mean, I'm not in love with high recoiling rifles, and this rifle was a pleasure to shoot. Based on the 308 caliber, it shoots a 200 grain bullet. These are the Federal Fusion rounds, 200 grain, bonded soft point. And believe it or not, these are rated at 2,700 feet per second at the muzzle. So that's a 200 grain bullet out of the 308 case going at the same velocity as the Federal Fusion 165 grain 308 bullet. So it has plenty of energy. At the muzzle, it has 3,237 foot-pounds of energy and retains more than 1,500 foot-pounds of energy past 400 yards, as you can see on the chart. I do not have a chronograph, but I assume that my rifle will be hitting these velocities, or maybe even a little bit better, having that 26-inch barrel. This ammo did shoot pretty well at the range. I was able to get about 1-inch groups. And another type of ammo that we have here is the double tap. I was able to find 3 boxes of this double tap, 160 grain in a 338 caliber bullet. And these are they're rated at 2,900 feet per second. It's a all copper bullet. It is the Barnes TTSX. It's listed here as an SC-THP. I don't know what that stands for, but On the website when I ordered them, these were listed as a Barnes TTSX. And that is what they look like. So here you go. Pretty sweet looking round. And 160 grain 338 caliber. A lot of people say, why would you want such a light bullet out of a 338? Well, there's not a lot of choices in different cartridges you can get for this. But I thought it was pretty cool to have an all copper bullet going around 2,900 feet per second, and maybe a little better in this rifle. With the Barnes CTX, which is known to be phenomenal as far as penetration and killing power and weight retention. I'm not sure what the ballistic coefficient is on that, but... And here's the 200 grain Federal Fusion. Again, that's that 308 case, necked up to 338 caliber, and going 2,700 feet per second. And if you're sighted in with a zero of 100 yards, your drop is 8.8 inches. I'm sorry, if you're zeroed in at 200 yards, your drop is 8.8 inches at 300 yards. And then 25.3 inches at 400 yards. When I can get that custom dial working for me and being familiar with that, I should be able to dial into a target at up to 400 to 500 yards and have enough energy for deer, elk, bear, anything that I want to hunt. And so I'm excited about it. The barrel is long, so this is going to be probably something that I'm going to hunt more in open country in the west here, and maybe mostly for elk is what I'm thinking. But I would like to take a bear with it too. That would be pretty cool. So I took it out to the range, and as I'll show some footage from the range, but it was a lot of shooting going on, so I didn't get the best footage, and I didn't record everything that I did, of course. But I started off with the Federal Fusions. When I shot at 50 yards, it was in the bullseye, like the dead center of the bullseye. And then I went ahead and just moved right out to 100 yards. And you'll see in the video that I had about a little over a 1-inch group. My first group at 100 yards, 3 shots. And it's off to the right a little bit. So I ended up adjusting it 8 clicks to the left. And then I was hitting in the bullseye and was getting some groups that were about 1 inch with the Federal Fusion. And then I shot 5 or 6 shots of the double tap, and it was shooting from the bullseye. It was shooting up and to the right up about 3 inches, and then right about 3 inches. And with the 6 shots, I had about a 2-inch group. So that's pretty typical for what I've seen so far. I haven't shot a lot of copper bullets, but I'm hoping that I'll be able to tighten up the groups with both types of ammo, with more shooting and getting more accustomed to the rifle. So I think this is a great choice for someone that wants something that has more energy than a typical hunting rifle, and a bigger caliber to provide a better wound channel. A lot of people, I think this gun came out the cartridge came out in 2006, I think. Don't quote me on that. But it's been out for a while, and it was kind of popular within a certain groups of people for a while, but then it kind of petered out. I think it's owned by Federal, which is also owned by the same company that owns Savage and several manufacturers of ammo. So I think there will be some availability of ammunition for a while, and I've got quite a bit now. Part of my decision-making process on getting this was that I was able to find quite a bit of the Federal Fusion ammo, so I picked up a good stock of that, and eventually, if I have to, I can reload. It would be easy to neck up 308 brass to accept 338 caliber bullets. I don't reload now, but at some point in the future, that may be an option that I need. But I've always been intrigued by the 338 caliber because of the relatively low recoil and excellent energy and decent trajectory. A lot of people kind of rag on it a little bit, thinking that it's going to have a worse trajectory than like a 308, but I think it's comparable to a 308, and it's going to have more energy and a heavier bullet and a bigger diameter bullet downrange. So that's kind of some of the reasons I bought it and was intrigued by it. And there's very little information on YouTube, especially recently, about it. Ron Spomer had a video about it this year, so you might want to check that out. It's titled something along the lines of the best cartridge you've never heard of, or the best deer cartridge you've never heard of, something like that. So, but it doesn't list 338 Federal in the title. So, but if you search for 338 Federal, you'll probably find it. Anyway, I think it should be more popular than it is. I think it's an excellent choice, and it's a short action cartridge, being based off of the 308. And so there's a lot of good things about it. But let me know what you think. Have you heard of it? Do you like it? Are you interested in it? Do you think I'm crazy for having a 26-inch barrel in it? This rifle, I've got it sitting on a Caldwell bipod, but I haven't used it to do any shooting or hunting yet. But I wanted to get something in case I do get a chance to take some longer range. That bipod goes up to about 26 inches, I think. So it's a little higher. I'm hoping I'll be able to kneel or sit behind it and take a shot if needed. But altogether, with the bipod, I think it's around 9.5 pounds altogether. So it's a little heavy, on the heavier side, but it helps absorb the recoil and make it more steady for shooting as well. So there's pros and cons to all that. But let me know what questions you have. I'll go ahead and wrap it up now. But if you have any comments, I would appreciate that. Please, if you like the video, like it, and please subscribe to my channel. I'll be continuing to put out additional videos of guns and shooting and hunting and fishing and different cartridges that I find interesting, and I will try to do that on as time allows, and hopefully you find it interesting, helpful, and entertaining. Thank you very much for tuning in to Fish, Bucks, and Bullets. This is Mr. Brewer checking out. Have a wonderful day.